Hi all, welcome back to the Spruce Gate Modeling. Today I will finally be showing you how to paint the exterior of Rubicon's 156th Königstiger. So here I'm spraying on camouflage over a dunkelgelb base. So the camouflage is Vallejo Rotbraun, which is the primer that I also used, coincidentally, as well as a Vallejo German camouflage olive green. I'm applying both of these freehand by airbrush to replicate roughly some paint schemes that I've seen in photographs. I do have a reference photo that I will show at the end of this video that I'm loosely basing this tank off of. Decided not to go for exacts because the tank in the picture, there were some pieces on it that didn't really come with this and I wasn't in the mood for scratch building. So here you can see I've applied the camouflage pretty evenly across the tank. I may modify this scheme slightly later. Alright, so after this it's time for decals. So I'm just going to cut out all the decals from the decal sheet. I'm doing tank 104. I'm going to apply some microsol to where I want the decals to be applied, and I'm going to position them. So with that done, I'm going to move on to the tracks. I want those on before anything else is done. So here I've painted the tracks with a brown paint, German Camel Black Brown, as well as a brown oil wash. I'm now going to apply oil washes of various colors to add some variation, pick out links with certain brown and ochre oil washes. This is a pretty simple but very effective step for really making certain links stand out and giving the tracks a non-monochromatic look. A monochromatic look is unrealistic if you're really going for a tank that has been used in action. Just make sure that the oil washes don't spill over into each other and don't hit every link. You need them to be, like I said, some of them need to stand out. So here we are. That looks pretty nice. I'm now going to be applying some pigments, also various colors, to add even more variation to the links. This variation should be subtle. You don't want this to really be standing out. So there we go. I'm now going to be applying some metallic, some gunmetal gray to areas of high wear on the tracks. This is where the road wheels will touch the tracks, as well as where the tracks make contact with the ground. This should be not too heavy, and I'm using a detail brush for this. I'm then going to add some even heavier metallics. This one's plate mail metal from the Army Painter. So now that the tracks are painted, I'm going to be weathering the lower hull. So this starts off with the same brown wash that I used on the tracks, burnt umber oil wash. This goes all throughout where the track should be. Then some dust-colored pigment is applied pretty heavily and then wiped away. And then I'm going to be applying a burnt umber pigment, just show some soil kicked up in there. So now that the tracks are applied, I'm going to be moving on to some more weathering. Here I'm using the oil dot method, where I dot oil paints onto the tank. I'm using a orange ochre, and then what I do is I take it and with a brush slightly moistened with thinner, I streak it. This is going to look disgusting first. That's completely alright. It's going to look heavy, it's going to obscure things, it's going to not look great. See? I'm dragging it around, it's covering things up. It really looks kind of gross, as you can see here, but you just gotta keep going. So, after that's done, I've got a nice blended look to the paint, and I'm going to be putting on a black wash to bring out some of the detail and bring some of the colors down even more. I'm looking for a really dark look on this tank. I think it'll look pretty nice. So there you go, you've got the black wash all spread out over the tank. Here you can see it's drying. So there, it's nice and dry, and I'm going to be doing some more of the oil dot method, this time with a burnt umber oil paint, to replicate some dirt streaking down the vertical surfaces. I'm putting little dots and streaking them very heavily, so it's just like the ghost of a streak that you can see. If you streak these too heavily, it looks really weird. Now I'm going to be taking some sponge dipped in German Camouflage Black Brown. I'm going to be doing some light chipping along the hard edges, followed up by a very light metallic highlight of some of those chips. So now it's time for the detail painting. I'm using black on the tool heads and German Camouflage Pale Brown on the on the wooden bits. I then highlight the metal bits with metallic paint. Like I said, I'm using gunmetal gray for this because it's a lot less heavy than the Army Painter stuff. So now I'm going to be applying final pigments. This comes in the form of a burnt umber pigment and black pigments applied to the engine deck. I I'm actually very happy with this model. It's not the greatest, but I put a lot of time into it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Here are some of the completed pictures. So here, as I'm sure you can see, I've glued the tank commander in. That was painted in another video. Here's a good look at some of the chipping that I did. There you can see just the full side shot and the tracks fully attached. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with this. This is Rubicon's 156th kit again. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.